If you've never made chili con carne in a pressure cook before, this might just change your dinner routine. Today I'm using the Instant Pot to make a very quick and easy, but really tasty, chili con carne. For this dish we're using minced beef, I'm using a tin of butter beans, tin of chopped tomatoes, some red kidney beans, I'm using tinned sweetcorn but frozen would be fine, a large white onion, a red bell pepper, and some stock cubes, some garlic, and in our spice mixture we've got salt, pepper, chili flakes, smoked paprika and cayenne pepper. The pressure cooker goes into sauté mode and we now just wait until that gets hot. As soon as we know we're up to temperature, then we can start adding the olive oil. One of my favourite features of the Instant Pot is the ability to be able to add your ingredients and fry them off before you actually turn the Instant Pot into its pressure cooking mode. Feel that this just adds an extra layer of flavours that just pressure cooking alone doesn't always achieve. So here I'm just breaking up the minced beef, or ground beef as it's known elsewhere, just to get some even colour all over the meat. When you're happy with the colour, you can start adding the other ingredients. I always like to add a little bit of butter at this point. I like the depth of flavour that butter adds, but it's totally optional. So here I'm adding the chopped onion and the chopped red pepper, and I'm going to fry that off with the mince just for a couple of minutes, try and get a little bit of colour on the onion and the pepper. Now this is the point when I add the spice mix, to which I've actually crumbled in the stock cubes. I'm a little bit lazy, it's just easier for me to do it than to actually make a jug of stock. I'll just add some warm water in a moment. Here you can see me adding the minced garlic, and once that's all in the pot, I'm just going to give that a really good mix around whilst the pot's still frying. Okay, time to add the water, or if you've not been lazy, this will be you adding the stock. And again, just a quick mix. The one thing I've found with the Instant Pot is you always need to make sure that you've got the bottom scraped really well. That's the one thing that can potentially set off a burning alert on it, and it just stops the Instant Pot going into high pressure mode. Now I'm adding the rinsed kidney beans, butter beans and sweet corn. Feel free to pop in at this point whatever kind of beans you like. I know in some places it's also considered a sin. So you pay your money, you take your choice here. I like this combination. Also like adding black beans as well. Now it's time to add the tin of chopped tomatoes. Now this is the one thing that I would encourage you not to stir through. A bit like not scraping the bottom. For some reason, tomatoes at the bottom of the Instant Pot do set off the sensor and prevent the pressure cooker from actually starting. So I always leave the tomatoes on the top. It doesn't make any difference to the taste, and you just stir them through as and when everything has been cooked. Now it's time to add the lid, twist it firmly on and just make sure that the knob is turned to the sealed position. So at this point I'm just going to cancel the sauté mode by pressing the cancel button, and then we're going to go into pressure cooking mode. I'm going to keep this really simple. I'm just going to press the bean chili function, which automatically sets the machine up to cook for 30 minutes. As you can see, I'm just double checking that the steam lid is in the sealed position. Now the Instant Pot will take a little bit of time to come up to pressure, but as soon as it does, you'll see the 30-minute mark come on the display, and it'll then slowly start counting down. 30 minutes is done. We've now made ourselves a beautiful chili con carne. I'm going to release the pressure straight away. If you don't want to touch that knob with your fingers, then just use a kitchen implement to turn the dial and get the pressure released from the Instant Pot nice and quickly. And as soon as that pressure's been released, we can open the lid, and there's your chili. Now you will obviously see the tomatoes still sat on top. What I'm going to do is mix that in to the rest of the chili. Now stay with me, because I'm going to give you a top serving tip which Some of you are going to doubt me, but I hope a few of you will give it a try, because I think you'll really enjoy it. Now this meal tastes absolutely delicious, served and eaten straight away. But I've got to admit, one of the things we do on a very frequent basis is freeze this. We allow it to cool and we freeze it, or we put a portion to one side in the fridge and leave it 24 hours to have for dinner the following evening. And it really develops a depth of flavour which is more akin to slow cooking a chili con carne. So for a quick evening tea, cooked and made on the same night, perfect. For a really deep umami tea, definitely recommend freezing this. Oh, and my top serving tip, soft cheese, like a Philadelphia. Trust me, I think you'll love it. It remains for me to say thank you so much for watching, and I'd be ever so grateful if you'd consider subscribing to my little channel here. Thank you, see you next time.